This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Jumbo, and hello, everybody. A very warm welcome to our afternoon safari. We are in the Masai Mara of Kenya, and we got a beautiful herd of elephants. My name is David. Welcome aboard to your very own safari, live from the African bush. We could not start our afternoon safari better than having a herd of elephants with one huge cow there with very long tusks and taking care of a number of youngsters there. And my guess, this could be the matriarch in this particular herd. I'm not very sure. That's just my guess because I'm just seeing 3 youngsters very close to her, and maybe this is the trust they got into her. Well, to all of you is another very warm welcome to our drive from the Masai Mara. My name is David, and on camera this afternoon is Bungei. Very excited to have all of you on board. It is spitting right now, but that doesn't worry us at all. And we have a pretty warm afternoon of about 26 degrees Celsius or 78 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm sure you know we love you talking to us, sending questions. How long are those tasks? Comment. What a beautiful herd of elephants there, David. And you can always do that. Tweeting to us, #WorldEarth. Look at that mama there. It always gives us a lot of joy. Alternatively, you can use @FC in the comment section of the YouTube chat channels. For the young ones, sending us emails is very healthy. Kids questions at worldearth.tv. Now, if you look at those L's carefully, they got small little dots. It's just because it is spitting where we are. Hello, Mama. Do you want to have a drink? A pool of water right there. They're gonna keep my voice very soft. And this is a very good way to start our drive. Not sure what she wants to do. She'll just stay our ground. And this is what I call a flying start. She's sniffing us. We are quiet. She's comfortable. And she's very close to us. Could be less than 3 meters away. It could not be better. The whole idea is to keep you ground. Be quiet. This another herd or a few other elephants following who I guess now could be the matriarch. She just passed behind the car. And there's one here, not sure. It's gonna come drink or gonna follow the matriarch in the water. It could not be better. And this is safari this afternoon. I hope this will bring us good omen of beautiful sighting, great experiences. It's another female coming through there. We'll have a drink. Excellent. Walking through the water. See how big they are. Splashing. Maybe she is not thirsty. Got the youngster on the other side. Good afternoon. She makes her way. Very good job, Bungei, to capture all these images. The youngster ears out and just passed. It couldn't be better than this. as we keep enjoying the drops as it continues to spit. Now, my main plans, I'm sure all of you, we have been following a small little calf that had a fractured leg, front right leg, and she has been taken care of by the vet around this area, and the good news is she is doing very well, and possibly I want to follow her up and find out how she'll be doing, and stay tuned because I'll be updating you later.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a very hot afternoon here in Djuma Private Game Reserve. It's not the Mara, but we do have a herd of zebra and giraffe in front of us right now, which is really wonderful. We've got some giraffe calves and some zebra foals. My name is Lauren, and I do have BK on camera today, and the sun is right behind BK's head, which is wonderful, and it's really, really hot. So I can imagine all of these animals here keep going into the shade and then reappearing again, and then popping into the shade and then once again reappearing. This is an effort to, of course, help them cool down. It's 27 degrees Celsius and 81 degrees Fahrenheit. I love seeing mixed groups of herbivores. They know they're absolutely no threat to one another. They can benefit one another by looking around for predators, and there's something remarkably lovely about it. But I think this is the same herd of zebra that we keep seeing. They're very, very dependent on water, but they can move as long as they're close to water. It doesn't matter where they are. They're not territorial, and they normally don't travel more than 10 kilometers away from a water point. But they're incredibly fussy drinkers, can you believe it? They won't just drink any water. It must be clean water. And if it's not clean enough for them, what you can find zebras doing sometimes is scraping a hole next to the dam, just like elephants do with their trunk, and allowing for clean water to filter through, which is also quite remarkable for a herbivore. And the reliance on water is the main driving force for zebra movements, and in some parts of Africa, zebra migrating. They're not territorial at all. Their main focus is to always be close to water, because of their very unique digestive system. Because they are hindgut fermenters, they don't have that four-chambered stomach that ruminants have. They pile all the food into one gut, which digests via fermentation, and it allows them to have, well, a lot of gas, shall we say. So we are on our way to Chitwa to look for those dogs.
Jumbo, and welcome to the other side of Masai Mara. I hope you've had a very good afternoon wherever you are. My name is Isaac, and on camera I have Big James. Already I'm just below the Olololo escarpment, and I have found a nice big herd of elephants, which we're going just to share with you in a moment. And there we go. It's another of nice medium-sized breeding herd, and looks like they're coming to say hello to me. I don't know if they're going to come close to me or not. Usually, sometimes they turn very close as soon as they approach the vehicle. Remember to talk to us on hashtag Wild Earth. Questions and comments are very, very welcome. Remember, this is a live broadcast coming to you.
There's a lovely group of elephant bulls all feeding around in a circle on a big branch. They actually broke off of a weeping boerbean tree a little bit earlier, all feeding on the bark and the fresh new leaves that are growing on this fine and warm spring day, I suppose you'd call it. Hi, I'm Mike. Behind the camera is Odie, and you've joined it here at Pridelands Eco Training Conservancy. And it's an absolutely spectacular afternoon. Nice and hot. All these elephants did come to the waterhole a little earlier. They finished drinking, and now they're having a bit of a snack on some of these new shoots. If you look there, you'll notice they're all in a circle because one elephant bull pulled down a big branch, and now they are all feeding on that branch. Thank you. It's nice to be back, everyone. It's gorgeous always to spend time on Pridelands. Lots of cool elephant sightings, always, especially around in Ndlovu Dam, very aptly named. You can see here, you can see these elephants are really, really smashing up all those branches. So a lot of those small leaves that you see look purple and red in color, but they're actually fresh growth. A lot of these trees have red leaves to start with to try and deter overfeeding. Rosalind, that's a good question, and it varies. It really varies depending on how much food there is to find, how much water there is, how much shelter, and how much elephants are in the area. They'll come together or they'll separate into smaller family groups. But on this area that we are in right now, Pride Lands, we've been noticing herds of around about 20 each. 4 or 5 adult females, some adult females and their offspring, often attended to by a number of males. So maybe 15 animals in the core herd and then, a bunch of males that are following. These are all males that we see here, Rosalind. So this is not part of any particular breeding herd of females and offspring. These are males that are just wandering through the area. They have a home range, and right now, because of all the water and the green veg around the dams here on Pride Lands, they seem to be sticking around, which is great. Taylor was telling me that elephants have been a bit scared the last couple of years that they've come to welcome me back. That's very, very nice. And there's a lot of low rumbling happening. I don't know if you can hear it. It's very low. It's frustrating. There's a lot of communication happening. We did mention, OD and I, that we're probably just going to stick around the dam this afternoon, because I suspect these elephants, once they're fed for a few hours on some of this dry bush and very warm wind blowing, they're probably going to go back and splash around in the mud just before evening time. So we're not going to head too far. So you can see those are actually flowers that you can see there. They're not quite open just yet. They almost look like berries. And the weeping boerbean is known as a weeping boerbean because these flowers have a copious, which is also very sweet and sticky. So not only insects and birds, but also elephants probably getting a little sugary goodness from these boerbean flowers. It's an absolutely wonderful snack.
Warm welcome to all our viewers. We're currently at Ambion Ngala, and today's mission is we're going to start off by looking for elephants. Now, it's a nice warm part of the day, so mainly predators are going to be moving into the shade, and that's where they're going to spend most of this afternoon before it eventually cools down and they'll start moving from there. But in the meantime, animals like giraffe, maybe some of the more common things like zebra, wildebeest, and even those elephants or buffalo will be going down to water to drink. So we've checked already at water, didn't see anything. We're going to head down towards the Timbavati River, and there are some spots where the elephants have started digging for some water. And maybe, who knows, we could be very lucky. As soon as it starts cooling down, we'll focus on leopard this afternoon. Maybe see if we can get that young male leopard that we saw or on some of our drives. So that's going to be the plan for this afternoon, and hopefully we'll be able to see it. Now, with leopard, as Mike was mentioning, those weeping boerbeans, maybe there's a good chance with some of the big trees like those, like the jackalberries, the nyala trees, maybe even some of the weeping boerbeans, there's a chance that we could look for leopard up in those trees, especially on warm days. They'll go up into the tree, lie down where there's a nice breeze blowing to cool themselves down. Also, there's no insects or anything, or not as many as on the ground, so that's why they'll prefer up in the trees. So let's see. The river's not too far. We're actually getting quite close to it now. We'll just kind of have to see what we can get. But exciting. It's an exciting afternoon. Chris, I don't think I've ever seen leopards eating it. Maybe the young cubs could possibly pick it up, but there's no, like me with leopards, they mainly carnivores, so there's no real need for them, or it's not part of their diet. So my personal opinion, I don't think so. But unless, I don't know, because of that sweetness in it, I don't know if they might just probably lick the flower or pick it up. But otherwise, I'm sure things like giraffes, maybe some of the vervet monkeys, baboons, they'll be looking into that. So as we said, we're going into the river now, and I can actually see some elephants right here.
So we're still sitting with that group of elephant bulls. We were just pointing out, Odie and I, we looked through the binoculars, and you can really see those red pods. Of course, the elephant's now ripped that whole branch, but you can see those red, dark purpley sort of pods. Those are not fruits. I thought they were fruits, or they might be like the weeping boerbean fruit. It looks a bit like grapes. Those are the flowers, right, of the weeping boerbean, and they are filled with nectar. They're little nectar pods almost. And of course, once those are pollinated and they turn into fruits and they fall down, they'll create new weeping boerbeans. But the elephants are feeding on them at the moment because they are very sugary. And we were just talking about never parking your vehicle underneath a boerbean in this time of year because all the nectar drips down and gets very, very sticky. That's why it's called a weeping boerbean. This elephant's having a little twisting on his trunk there, trying to unstick himself. Randy, I think there are definitely plants that animals eat when they're feeling sick, medicinal plants. So I don't know if a weeping boerbean has any medicinal properties for elephants specifically. I know many plants human beings have used in the past. But I know, for example, we see often animals eating tambuti, which is a very toxic plant, and they often eat it, and we suspect that they might do so when their stomach is starting to get lots of parasites, because the very toxic nature of the tambuti might kill the parasites and then help the animal to purge its stomach. So I'm almost 100% sure. And we've also seen a lot of, this elephant's just having a bit of a scratch behind its ear right now, which is very interesting. We've also seen a lot of giraffes rubbing their bodies, and zebras in fact, on a plant called a cork bush, which is very well known for having anti-tick properties. It's got this chemical called rotenone on it, which is chasing away ticks. When you rub it on your skin, it's very powdery. Rub it on your skin and the ticks tend to not want to stick on you. So I think when they get lots of parasites on their skin, giraffes and zebras will go and rub against the cork bush because I think they know that it helps them. Interesting. I wonder if they smell it or if it's just an instinct, or how exactly do they figure out these medicinal properties? I suppose it's like anything. Human beings have been discovering medicinal plants for thousands of years, and I suppose it's just trial and error, isn't it? As you can see here, elephants, lots of bulls, all just moving around from tree to tree, finding whatever's nutritious.
So remember earlier we were chatting about the elephants possibly going down to the river to go and dig in the sand to get some water. You can see this one off to the left is covered with like the coarse grainy sand of the river. And you'll also notice there's a bit of water on his back as well. So I can imagine it's a warm day. This elephant must have been moving for quite a bit. It looks like it's 2 bulls. Now, how I know that is by the fact that there's only 2 of them together, but also just like looking at the shape of their forehead and just their overall body. They are quite large animal, larger than the females. But look at this one off to the left that we were pointing out. You'll notice in comparison to the one on the right, it is slightly smaller, but also missing a tusk. And that could have been from, maybe imagine pushing over a tree, maybe a fight with another elephant bull, and in the whole process would have snapped that tooth off. See, the other one, the bigger one, was actually drinking first. So this one patiently waited for him to finish, and now going there to enjoy that nice cold water. See what he's doing? He's basically trying to reach with the trunk right in the center there, because that's mainly where all the water would sieve through. But looks like he's playing more than anything. Maybe there's a bit of sand in the water. Maybe it's a bit muddy water. And now he's just trying to suck all of that up and blow it out to try and get to the fresher bits. Now, for an elephant, there's a few ways of keeping itself nice and cool. You can see the skin looks like it's several sizes too big. Notice what it's doing with its trunk. Often, Just to rephrase the word, initially, it's by having a skin that's several sizes too big for the body, having those big ears to help cool. You will see as soon as it moves, they'll flap those ears, help cool them down. And also, what they're doing now is to dig for water. After a drink, they'll often take that mud or maybe a bit of water and then flick that onto their back or onto their belly. Might even be that after he had a bit of a drink, he might just do that. But you can already see on his back, notice the mud on his back. So probably been early on, he would have been flicking that sand onto its back just to cool itself down while he was waiting for that other elephant bull.
We were actually just admiring the gorgeous tawny eagle that I found yesterday, but it decided not to cooperate. So we're at Chitwa Dam getting ready to look for the dogs, and there's a separate herd of zebra. I think they're toying with the idea of coming to drink, but they're very nervous here. And the wind's picking up, which is good for us because it's so hot, but it also makes herbivores like zebras slightly more nervous. And I mentioned earlier that zebras are hindgut fermenters, so this is different from being the four-chambered stomach of ruminants. And they're said to be only 2/3 as efficient, but twice as faster. So it's sort of quantity over quality for zebras. So they can process, if you like, twice as much food as a ruminant in any time frame. But they're not as efficient, which means they won't get as much nutrients from their food as a ruminant will. You can compare, say, zebra and wildebeest. I saw a wildebeest just a second ago. So a zebra, when it comes to digestion, is only 2/3 as efficient as a wildebeest at extracting protein from its food. But it means for zebras, they have to spend about 60% of their time eating. Sonia, you're asking, who are the zebra's friends? Really, not many animals. They will only interact within their own kind, so zebras will interact with only zebras. But when it comes to herbivores, you'll generally find lots of grazers all grazing together. Wildebeest, zebra, impala when they're grazing. Even the giraffe earlier was browsing, but they were staying in the same area. They're not a threat to one another. There's no sort of aggression between the species, and therefore they will co-inhabit the same space at the one time, if you like. But as for get along with, I'm not entirely sure they get along with any other species, not even their own. BK and I were just chatting about how one of the worst there's some warthogs too. There you go. They're also grazing next to the warthogs. Everybody's in a perfect line. Yeah, BK and I were chatting about how one of the worst sightings and the worst fights I've ever witnessed between members of the same species was zebra. And it was with Mr. Brent Leo Smith. And it was just very upsetting. It was really horrible to watch. Zebras can be incredibly aggressive. So going back to ruminant versus hindgut fermenter, in zebras, the breakdown of the rumen itself is much less thorough, but it's quicker. And therefore, the sort of throughput of a zebra is anywhere between 30 to 45 hours. But the throughput for the likes of a wildebeest is about 70 to 100 hours. So they're just quicker at digesting. Sonia, there you go. That answers your question. I think zebras get along with warthogs. I think they're all having a lovely afternoon tea party at Chitwa Dam. Okay, there's not much else happening at the water bodies. We're going to look for the wild dogs.
Good luck, Lauren, with the wild dogs, and hopefully those wild dogs, if you see them, they don't catch the warthog just sitting there. Now, I have found myself a lioness here, which was looking at some warthogs just a few minutes ago, and he is not alone. I guess the two sisters or the two lionesses here, and they belong to the River Pride. Now it is spitting here in the Masai Mara, so we had to bring the canvas or the covers or the rain covers of the vehicle down. Hopefully you can hear the drops from the roof of the car. Very good. I'm happy you can hear the rains cast in the final control tells me. But that is not going to stop us from bringing you these beautiful experiences or sceneries. What a beautiful sighting to see her. I mean, many lions, we have seen them out in the open even when it's raining heavily. And she may remain where she is as the rains continue, unless she has cubs, which maybe are not sheltered nicely. She may want to go and find out how they are, or just put them in the right place. And very nice to hear you love the sound of the rain. I was saying the other day, my best time in the Masai Mara is during the rainy season. Until maybe I get stuck like last week. Any other time, the rains to me mean so many good things. The rain give me so much positive energy, so much food for all the animals. Everything is green. The lions also enjoy getting lots of prey. The birds are happy. And this one lioness plus the sister, are you want to rise and shine? No. Regardless of the rains, as I was saying before, she may continue staying there, even on a very heavy downpour, if, say, she doesn't have any cubs anywhere. Rain, even for an hour, 2 hours, same position. Once the rain stops, she's going to rise, shake the whole body, and get, rid of excess water and move on doing her business. Well, I'll move on. As I said earlier, my plan is to find out how that calf is and possibly see if I'm going to see her today. Jumbo after the elephant. Now I have the Cape Buffalo, and this is one massive breeding herd. None of these buffaloes I've shared with you before, because this is a very big breeding herd, about 200 plus. What a beautiful sight. I hope you are enjoying this kind of sight, because it's one of a kind. You don't always get to see these numbers live on your television. This is happening now in the Mara Triangle. This is a breeding herd of Cape Buffalo, one of our largest grazers. Where there is abundance of grass, you'll always find it. They don't migrate, they are residents, and herds here in the Mara can get up to 800 plus, but 200 is quite common. Beautiful sight of the cattle egrets retiring, maybe heading towards their roosting tree. You can tell that most of these buffaloes are headed off to the left. Maybe they're heading towards where they can find water, because they are water dependents. They need to drink almost every day. Yeah, it's funny how their ears are positioned underneath their horns. It's one adaptation. Yes, not all animals have got ears below their horns. Yes, it is a huge herd, and James will be sharing with you so that you can see the amount of numbers. These two guys looks like they're competing on who's gonna chew faster. Yeah, very much like a cow, they chew so. Those are two bulls. Yeah, they're two, these guys are grazers, so they're always eating grass, and they don't have any molars or incisors on top, only at the bottom, so they're always grinding, very much like a cow. Look at that sight. Those are cattle egrets, and they're taking full advantage of the last light and the last light of the day. From what is being spooked by the buffaloes, they're eating. Others are getting the warmth from the buffaloes, and also enjoying the ride from the back of the buffaloes. Yeah, I can get, these guys are quite busy getting as much as possible.
beautiful cattle egret. That's what they do. They associate with buffalo for their own benefit, feed on insects pretty much. So just want to welcome everyone back to Djuma Private Game Reserve this afternoon. And my name's Andrew, behind the camera, that's Theo. So looking at the buffalo right on a distance, which I think they just had a drink, but now they settling away from the water hole. Of course, indeed. So the temperature for the day, 27 degrees, 81 Fahrenheit, but still it's warm, it's hot. But to see this kind of bovine and type of animal, which is buffalo most, visit the waterhole during that hot day, and then now they're finished, drinked, and looks like they're gonna just move. You know, that's what exactly I was thinking about. It's a good idea that, if they're gonna, because it looks like they get in yesterday, and then just been in this property for, since yesterday and today, which we believe they might actually maybe attract lions back in this property again. That would be so awesome, watch buffalo and lions hunting buffalo. So this is actually what I think it's going to be the best for us to benefit from this buffalo being back here again. So we got closer by to them.
Good afternoon, everyone. That is Tumi from Beyond Pinda Private Game Reserve. Right behind the camera, we have Craig, and here we are. We have a lovely, beautiful male lion. As you can see, he has like a nice mane. If you take a look on his eye, on his right eye, he's got like different color. He's been on a fight, that big guy. As you can see, that's always come from that defending their territory. He might be come across with other male, and then that's why he has that bad angel on his eye. But it's not fresh. It's been like that for quite a while. As you can see, look, one his eyes got more of that white. Yeah, he's a lovely, nice man. And then you can see that he's got a black and nice tone color of his face, which is a lovely size as well. And look at the camouflage on this rock. We almost missed him because he was putting his head down when we were driving passing here. They're like, oh wow, what is that? And then that was good spotting as well. In that place where he is, he was up on a little bit up on a copy. As you can see, his mane been blown by the wind. Looks like he's been combing his hair. Oh, that is a lovely sight, guys. That is awesome. But if you look at his face, you can see he's been in a fight. A lot of scratch on his face. And then take a look on his right, his left eye. You can see that white marking. That's what they use for night vision when they're hunting. So on the right side, it looks completely wiped out of this white marking comparing to the other eye side. But yeah, he's look very good condition. He has a brother around this area. This is one of the Bayala male. His brother, he's somewhere further east, far from this place. Because they have a huge territory, they have to sometimes to separate, to try to defend that huge territory. Him and his brother, sometimes they meet and hang around by maybe like a couple of days, maybe 1 or 2, 3 days, and then they separate again. Because in this area, there is another male. He's all by himself. Sometimes he do roll
And also the North males, sometimes overnight they do vocalize, and then when they pick that call, they have to make sure they defend their territory because they have a huge area. So that's why he's hanging around all by himself around this area. I'm not sure if he's been seen this morning, but yeah, he looks quite well. I can't see quite nice his belly, if he's had something. As you can see, he's just behind this rock. So we'll just sit here. He might get up and start moving, but we'll see.
So we're having a look at another elephant. So this is a different one from the two that we saw earlier on, and it was feeding off to the side and now headed straight down towards the river. Now, I wonder, like the ones we saw earlier on, if this one is also going to probably find a spot to drink some water. You can see there's a few reeds around there, and there's also some rocks. So maybe underneath, because of the rocks, there'll be a bit of water that could have settled on top of those rocks. I'm not too sure. It might be just moving through the riverbed. But I'm just thinking, if I'm an elephant bull that size and I've fed for quite a bit of the day, and as well as if it's warm, the chances are I want to go down to water for a drink. You can see there's a few scuffle marks around where he is now. Who knows? Maybe it could be there. It looks like he might even be smelling the ground. Might just be that he had a drink earlier on in the day, because you can see on his back, you notice the very fine layer of sand on top of his back. That's probably from earlier on as he was drinking and cooling himself down. Anushka, it should be probably in the next month or so we'll start seeing them. So normally they come out in the summertime, and I mean, or in spring, and like late spring into early summer, and we should be seeing them pretty soon. At the moment, we haven't seen a lot, or we haven't seen any, but hopefully in the next little while we'll start seeing them. So normally we do see them for almost 6-7 months of the year. But you can see this one is moving. There's quite a lot of lush green vegetation along the banks of this river, and so it might just be that he's moving to the side and he'll find some lush green trees to feed on as he carries on, maybe later on back towards more water. But just look at the size of those trees in comparison to that elephant. I mean, that's a tall elephant.
Look at this, guys. Look at that male lion. He's still around. He just stood up and start walking away from us. We'll see if we can able to follow him. Quite a lot of rocky in this area, but it looks like we're just losing his vision now. He might coming out in the other side, but we're trying to maybe to drive around and see if we can able to get another view. And it's quite rocky in this area, as you can see down here, but we'll try. Yeah, we're trying to reposition, see if he's just maybe lie down the other side there.
Beautiful. It's such amazing, lions. Isn't that beautiful to actually follow lions on their move? Now what we come across in this Gari Dam, not far from where we just saw a lot of a buffalo move off, and giraffe trying to make their way to this waterhole to drink. Looks like all of them are males here, male giraffe, which is, it's normal for giraffe to do this. Got a whole bunch of male together. They're not territorial. So, but they respect whoever is the dominant here. Definitely they have to respect that. And for such many males like this. You're just going to see when they come out drink here. You're able to notice all different color-looking animals. Some are darker, some are lighter, some are slightly pale. So that is something to do with a gene pool, and found maybe the father or mother was pretty dark. But it's going to be really beautiful reflection in there. Already two of them arrive into this water hole. You see how they do it. Anyway, it's good that they... Right. Listen to the sound of these birch-hole starling, old birch-hole starling that make sound here. This one's got a little bit of a, not a lunch, but it's quite a few birds are searching around here for food, but they're all chasing one another. And this is what you're hearing right now. In the far distance, you could hear also hornbill. But let's just take a moment of silence and watch this giraffe, how they make it down to this water hole, and also listen to the sound. A lot of oxpeckers in this one. I saw one trying to kind of jump. This was a way of getting rid of them, but it doesn't help. It looks like maybe they just picked up that they in that individual one. It's a lot of a parasite that benefit from it. The oxpecker, they are cleaner, so they eat ticks. But also what it will do on an animal those that have wound, they can even open the wound bigger by pecking on that red flesh. Look at this beautiful bull. Look at his head. So this is how I just arrive in this area and know exactly this is all a bunch of male looking at their head. And you're able to see they're all bolted up. It's all patch of white right at the top. Instead of a paintbrush hair growing in there, it's a bolt. It's white showing it up in there. So what they're doing right now, they are observing around here for safety. And we will wait here. They will eventually come down to drink for us.
So we were just driving along and we were talking about the temperature and the weather and spring and how plants flower. And we drove past this amazing plant here, which is actually about to flower now. This is called a Bushman's grape or an ivy grape. Sometimes I've heard it called a Bushman's ivy grape. It doesn't really matter as long as you recognize it. And this plant is edible, very tasty in fact. It's got a purplish fruit, just like a grape, looks just like a grape, that's why it's called an ivy grape. And it grows up on these long stalks. It looks like a bush now, but if there was another small tree growing next to it, it would climb up the tree on these little tendrils here and sometimes overgrow a whole tree. Now, what's nice about this is that the fruit is edible. So, of course, if you're lost in the bush or even just on a game drive and you want to taste something, you can eat a bit of this fruit. Also makes a very, very refreshing drink. Crush up the pulpy fruits that look just like grapes, add them to water or whatever you want. Very refreshing. You can make jellies out of them as well. Boil the fruits, add a bit of sugar, reduce them, makes jelly. It's really, really wonderful. And in fact, a lot of people traditionally, before, we could buy a drink or whatever like that, they would walk through the bush and chew pieces of this branch in order to get the saliva to keep their mouth moist and stop them from feeling very dehydrated. Of course, it's not actually hydrating you, but it's helping you to feel hydrated. And, I can really taste it. It's quite interesting. It smells like roast chicken. I'm not going to lie to you. So I'm going to take a piece. I want a growing tip here. So just over here, I've just broken a small piece off. Sorry, I'm bumping my microphone. It smells just like roast chicken. Plant. It just tastes like a green plant. Nothing is edible yet. I'm so sorry. I'd love to eat more of it, but I'll wait for the actual fruits to grow. It doesn't taste like roast chicken, though. I'm a vegetarian, so not bad. It's very, it's very bitter. It's drying my mouth out incredibly. I guess the plant itself is not the part which you're supposed to eat. Or not at this time of year. No, I don't know what they're talking about. Maybe I've got the wrong plant, because that is not making my mouth feel very moist at all. And Lord knows, I like it when my mouth is moist, not when it's dry like this. But anyway, I think it's definitely an ivy grape because it has that roast chicken smell that I recognize so well. And I'm sure it's going to fruit in the next few weeks. And we'll show you once again what it looks like. As we drive around here, we're actually noticing a lot of small plants that are starting to flower now. And it's a gorgeous time of year. Because although we haven't had rain yet, proper rain, a lot of what plants need is three things. They need water or food, and they need heat, and they need sunlight. And right now they've got the heat, it's very warm, and there's plenty of sunlight. And so all they need is the right amount of water, which some of these plants are getting, because under the ground here, we're close to some dams and drainage lines, and they are starting to suck up that water and the nutrients and start to produce these flowers. And so I'm sure we're going to start seeing a lot of flowering plants. We already see lots of the knob thorns are starting to flower. So this is just the next step. Hopefully we're going to find a lot more. What's that? All right, cool. So what we're going to do is probably continue driving down here and see what else we can find. And then see what else is around.
Yes, there's a lot to see as you are driving down. And sometimes we usually say a tower of giraffes that is now getting a beating and getting what I'd call a tower of rain. Luckily, I have a very bright cameraman here, called Bungei, who have devised a very small window through the rain covers, and he has put his camera lens there for us just to view that great sighting, giraffes in the rain. This morning I was by the Mara River and I was having some good fun with the rapids on that river, and just wonderful to hear all of you saying, wow, lots of rain. But look at these mammals here. I mean, they don't look bothered a minute by the rain. Of course they are, because they're not doing what they should be doing. But just look at them, ruminating, chewing cud, very synchronized. Maybe not. Did you hear me? Come on, keep chewing. But what they have done, unlike the lionesses we saw before in the open, in the savannah, which did not care much about the rain, these giraffes have taken advantage of these magic nguare trees to shelter themselves a little bit. And it's quite a big herd of giraffes here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I can count now, but I would want to believe there could be more. At least they're not getting big beating from the rain because they have the tree canopy above their heads. And I have always thought ruminants, ungulates like the giraffes. Angie, how are you today? And you're saying they look like they're chewing bubble gum. Exactly. I mean, just look. And Angie, I was saying earlier, I've always thought the ruminants have big advantage in terms of feeding, unlike the non-ruminants, because if they eat so much, it gets so hot, it's raining, they cannot continue either grazing or browsing like the giraffes would do. They would regurgitate what they had eaten earlier, back in the mouth, re-chew it again, and swallow. Just look at that. Now, what I never understand is the process of when they stop chewing and it's finally chewed and they swallow. Lisa, any animals that don't like rain? I would say cats may not. With the choice, Lisa, you'll see cats looking for shelter, but if rain gets them at a particular point not near a place they would get some shelter, they'll be fine. Earlier, Lisa, I hope you're watching, we started the drive with a herd of elephants, and the elephants remained there, and as I left them, they were still feeding. They were not bothered at all. But I'd say any animal that's covered by a bit of fur, like giraffes here, like cats, lions, cheetahs, leopards, with a choice, I highly doubt they would like the rain. Hippos, elephants, rhinos, without any fur, on top of their hides, I don't think they would be bothered by the rain. But this, most importantly, whenever it rains, you'll always see an immediate change of behavior of all the animals across the board. The giraffes have stopped feeding because of the rains, because they know once in a while, that's when things go wrong in terms of predation. Antelopes will do the same. They'll still remain in the rain, but they are more vigilant of any predators coming to snake on them. I will spend a few more minutes here enjoying the rain on the roof, rain covers, and enjoying seeing these giraffes ruminating.
Beautiful, the rain with the animals, watching animals under the roof, that's a very good thing. And watching animals getting wet. But back here in this dam, our giraffe didn't drink, so they've moved off. Was when one of these hippo was blowing the nostrils very hard, and one ran because it got frightened, and all of them, they're still looking from the distance. Maybe they'll probably come back here to drink. We're not sure, but they look thirsty because these two, they don't want to move far away. Where hippo was only doing its thing, but it did actually frighten them. As you can see, our hippo's still there. This is the boy who was doing a lot of noises here. If they don't drink in this waterhole, they would try another waterhole. They don't mind walking distances. Well, they only needed about 38 liters of water a day, so probably drank somewhere else, and they will drink again wherever they're going right now. But for them, forage like this is so important. Looks like they're always downwind. When a downwind, it's all about, that's a dap chick, or a creeper, a little bird. Look, it's how it dives up, down. It's gone. Submit very quickly and come out there. This is how they would do it. It's really beautiful. Now they come out. Gone. there. It's on its search for food. Little fishes. Isn't that beautiful in such a hot day? And got a water bird that are. Yeah, it is beautiful grape indeed. I agree. It's a beautiful bird. Now our hip is probably going down. It's going to come out. It's going to come up. No, just little ears and the nostrils sticking up there. So these 3 giraffes looks like they haven't disappeared. Far away, these 2, they're still looking back to the dam here. And they now decided we gotta get out of here, keep up with all our brothers. So it helps when they feed, but they face a wind, downwind. A lot of trees that they're disturbed. This tree found they've been fed a lot. A lot of animals, browsers have been continuously feeding on these trees, and the final trees that would communicate, which produce of these chemicals called tannin, and tannin turned taste of a tree sour. And a lot of time you would find these animals walking past a lot of the beautiful trees, or some of them are not beautiful, but it's a tree species that they often feed on, and they're not interested in feeding your nose. You wonder why, but that's what happened. It's that tree, it actually turned sour, that they don't want to be fed in a time where there's been a lot of browser species in that area, because type of area, type of soil, different soil, tree species grow in such of, in that slope area, drainage line systems. All trees are full, nutritious, sweet, tasty, very good. That's where you find these animals always get around, feed in the drainage line system, because all the tree species of acacia trees are there. But trees also get tired of receiving a lot of arrival feeding on them. Say no, well, maybe a week off until they're ready to be fed again.
So how lucky are we? We were able to find this young male leopard again. But because it's been such a warm day, he hasn't moved too far from where we last saw him this morning. He's actually just came down into this drainage line where it's nice and cool to lie down in the shade. But he's a beautiful cat, especially if you look at the different colors, those long whiskers. And even look at the color of the eyes with the sunlight on it, these yellowish color eyes. And even look at the spot pattern around his face. So you'll notice that the first little part almost looks like a cheetah if you look around the neck and the side of the chest. And as you go down the rest of the body, they turn into these rosettes, which looks like a bunch of spots that are fused together with a little brown patch in the middle. But for now, he's just cleaning himself. Now, early on, apparently one of the rangers said that they saw him making a kill on something really small. It might have been a genet. And it could be that he's just cleaning himself now, because he's been lying down in the shade for quite a bit before he eventually moves on. But it doesn't look like he's in any rush. So for now, we're going to just enjoy him like this and just spend some time and see what he might be up to for this afternoon. Look at the size of those teeth. I mean, this leopard is roughly around 1.5 years, maybe a little bit more. And look at the size of those teeth and also the size of him. polka dot with the mother and the sister. I'm not too sure if they left them permanently, but I do know that their tracks are in the area, so I'm sure they haven't left him yet. And the chances are more likely that... I just want to have a look. Looks like there might be something behind us. Don't know if it's a hyena. It looks like there might be a hyena. Let's see how he's going to interact. Because I don't know if he knows this hyena is around here. But I have seen the mother and the sister's tracks around, so I'm sure they haven't... he hasn't been... or they haven't left him yet. But also, I'm sure he'll probably stay around as long as he possibly can, until another male pushes him out of the area. Now, let's try and see if we can see this hyena. Now, it is hard, as I mentioned earlier on. Okay, wait, it's coming back, so let's keep our focus on him, because he's just spotted the hyena now. Look at him. You can see he's not really appreciating the hyena being around. Now, the hyena might have picked up his scent, and he's trying to stay away from that hyena. But look at how he's just focused on it. Alright, the hyena is coming down. So let's stay on this leopard, because the chances are like more, there's more better chance that something that this leopard might move rather than this hyena, because the hyena is going moving straight towards him. So what I want to do is just be as quiet as possible so you can see the scene. So look to the right now. There's the hyena and the leopard off here on the left. Don't know if you can hear the snarling noise, but it's basically this male snarling at this hyena. And this hyena is not too fast, but the leopard, look at him snarling. You'll see his whiskers, look at his ears. And he's also constantly looking up the tree to see if he can run up the tree, if the hyena had to turn around. The hyena's got the message and is moving off, and this is all helping this little leopard to build his confidence. It is hard to see him, but we're going to try move a bit closer. Now, just to show you where this hyena is, so it's moving. We might not be able to get another glimpse of it, but it's just on the side over here. Remember we said earlier on, this leopard made possibly, or the ranger said that they'd made a kill on something small. I wonder if the hyena didn't pick up that scent, because that would have been in that drainage line there. So a drainage line, basically for some of our viewers that won't know the concept, it's just any area where water will drain down towards the bigger river, or we refer to it as a riverbed. But the hyena is slowly moving off. Let's see if we can go back to this leopard. Now, he is currently staring straight towards that hyena behind us. We're going to try and find him again. He's so hard to spot. So basically right there, you can see there's some movement. Right, like how hard is that? I mean, other than the ears moving. So what he's basically trying to do is, with this hyena moving around, he's trying to conceal himself so the hyena doesn't spot him. But the hyena has a very good sense of smell, so he'll probably eventually move around and then come back towards that leopard. For the time being, it's just gone and lied down behind us. What I might do though is because of the gap that we have now, we won't be able to see him clearly. I'm just going to push maybe 2 or 3 foot forward, and we'll be able to see if we can get another glimpse of him.
So we've stopped here because actually I've tried to do a segment here before and we weren't able to, but I wanted to talk about it for a long time. We've got a soapstone rock here. As you can see, nice rock, silvery on the edges there, and that's how we know it's soapstone, because it's been worn down by animals moving over it and by dust and all sorts of things. And in the middle here, there's this very uniform round patch. And I always wondered, why is there soapstone that's been carved into bowls like this? Obviously, a human has done it in the past. Can be hundreds of years old, maybe thousands. I don't know if it's that old. But it's soft. It's a soft rock. I mean, you'll see if I scrape it here, you know soapstone. If you've seen me carve my soapstone elephant before, you can see it flakes off very easily. And so this rock is not good enough to use as a grindstone for things like corn or maize. You know, it's going to get involved in this in the stuff that you're grinding. So then I discussed with a friend of mine who also works at a reserve not far from here. What would these have been used for? And what we came up with, he's also spoken to a few people from the Shangaan community and he's spoken to some historians. And they say that the people that lived here, even before the Shangaan people moved into this area, would have evaporated water from these pans that's very high in minerals and sodium. They would have evaporated water in these bowls to collect the salt, because of course salt is quite an important trading resource back in the old days, not just for food, but also for making food last longer, like drying meat and stuff, but also for preserving skins to make leather. Of course, it's part of the tanning process to remove the water from those skins so that they don't go rotten. So it's very interesting that there's a lot of them around here. This is the second soapstone bowl that I've found here on Pride Lands, and in the area around here, we've found dozens before, all sorts of different things. So you can actually see another one just behind here. I don't know if people here at some point in more recent times by someone. Oh, sorry, making a bit of noise there. Certainly very interesting. See them lying here and covered in grass before, but now as the business progressing, the grass is being eaten back by termites and exposing this stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what else it exposes over the coming weeks and months before we get proper rain. Right. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to keep driving down Marula Lane and see what other cool stuff we can find unless there's animals around.
Well, the rains here continue, and I'll tell you, I think it was Lisa earlier who was asking me which animals fear the rain, and I remember telling her that elephants have no idea whether it rains or not. They'll continue doing what they love best. See the amount of rain we got now, the intensity have gotten higher, but this cow and her son are having all the fun you'd think of in the world. Mud bathing, feeding, drinking, twisting their tails, flapping their ears, not because it's cold, they're just having a ball. A little bit of a scratch here and there. It's a little paddle there that we've been playing, and this youngster here, which is a male, has been moving around in it. It's time to have a poo break. See the amount of rain, and look at the skin. When you see skins of elephants and you compare them when it rains and when they're dry, they look totally different, rather dark or blackish. And you see why I'm calling him a male. You can see it got genitalia out. That's the only way I could be able to say is a male at that age. It could be very difficult to tell whether it's a male or a female. And definitely, this is big fun for these elephants. Even for me, I said earlier, I enjoyed the rains in the Mara. And see, those tusks when I got here earlier, they were in the mud. And the one that is clean as they look on that cow now, she's very huge.
And my guess is she could be pregnant. Look at the belly. Because that calf belongs to the other cow. So this must be a very heavy female expecting a baby, I don't know when. Look at the size of her tusks, especially the right one. So to the elephants, whether it rains or not, they'll continue eating, they'll continue drinking. She's kind of getting water in her mouth and then just spitting it. Not sure exactly what she wants to do or what she's doing. I hope you can hear the rains from our rain covers. It's just a wonderful feeling to hear the storm. But luckily, we don't have any thunderstorms or any lightning. That's why our equipment has remained on. Otherwise, it becomes a concern when you get bigger thunderstorms or when you get lightning. We may have to power down, but I would say so far, so good, and still in business. Continue enjoying the rain and enjoying seeing this cow feeding as I monitor that it will get heavier or not.
Live.
Very good afternoon. It is a rainy afternoon here in the Mara, and we're very lucky we've come across this small group of old buffalo bulls, and life seems to be very good. They're enjoying the rain, grazing in this wet area, and giving us a stare once in a while. And you know what, one thing with buffaloes, they always give you a basically mean stare. Oh, the one to the left has got something hanging on his ear. Oh, it's a pretty earring. Probably he's been going through the bushes and something got stuck in his ear. And the thing is happy, moving around with that particular twig. And as you can see, you know, buffaloes are ruminant, and they're using this rainy afternoon to chew cud. A group of 5 full-grown buffaloes is quite a formidable force, and this always ensures that they've got the safety of each other. They watch each other's back, and any predator that will probably wants to come around and attempt to bring or to attack such a group of buffaloes is likely to think about it so many times before trying to attack. Janet, here in the Mara, the buffaloes tends to breed all year round, and this is mainly because there's always plenty of food, there's grass all year round, so they do not have a particular breeding season. Right, the buffaloes are looking at us at the moment. They're not really bothered with our presence here. You know, it's raining, so we rolled down our flaps. So I thought initially maybe our jeep will look like something strange to them, but I'm happy. They're really relaxed and they're going on with their business as usual. Right, the rain continues. It's a drizzle, and this is actually something that is very good to the animals here, because you know, it enables we're gonna leave the buffaloes to just relax and enjoy the rain. They seem to be very happy here.
This young male has just put his head down and he decided to lie down flat Now, it wasn't like this a few seconds ago because that hyena was around the area again. But the hyena didn't see him. This leopard was looking at the hyena for quite a while. But eventually, as it moved off down the riverbed, he relaxed a bit more and put his head down. Just look at his color in contrast with the light, the grass, and some of the branches in the back. He blends in so well. But what we definitely need to do here is spend some time and see where is he going to be going. And as like some of the viewers were asking about the mother and the sister, are they eventually going to come back into the area? We don't know. Maybe the mother went out to hunt, and eventually if she does make a kill, she'll come back and fetch him, or maybe come and fetch the daughter, and then take him or her towards the kill. But often what I have seen about young males like this is when they normally get to this age, at least for the next 2 years, they become these scavengers and they'll steal the kills off the females. It might be from different females, not even their mother, might even be from their sister. And they'll do anything they can possibly do in order to survive. And that's what happened to that Makoti male. Remember the one that we used to see that's slightly older than this one, and also bigger. And what he did is, or what he is starting to do is he's starting to chase the females off the kill, or actually following them until they eventually make a kill and then go and steal the kill. And they'll do that because they are bigger and more intimidating than the females, and so that's why they'll chase them off until they eventually take over their territory. But as they go along, he'll be looking out for little critters to hunt, like rodents, possibly if there's a scrub hare around, any bird. I have seen him stalking guinea fowl and francolins before, and then like some of the ranger mentioned, even something like a genet. So whatever he can, basically his size and smaller is what he'll be aiming to get until he gets more and more experience, and then from there on, the prey will become bigger and bigger. So what I've even heard is basically one of the biggest things that a leopard has ever dragged up. It might have changed. I mean, this is now going off data that I read a few years ago, is there was a male leopard that managed to pull a 90-kilogram giraffe into a tree. So that's what, close to 190 pounds of a giraffe into a tree. Just shows you that's dragging its own body weight plus that giraffe into a tree. I'm sure he'll probably be able to get very close to that when he is fully grown and he is a big, strong leopard. And the one thing that I definitely also enjoy is often how leopards, because of their camouflage, they remind me a lot of tigers that you find in India, because of the areas that they prefer, these denser areas. Now, usually with leopard, they can, or this particular leopard, I think he'll probably weigh, would it be safe to say maybe 50, 60 kilograms, if not more? Now, a big, fully grown leopard can weigh up to 90 kilograms, some a bit more, some less, but that's probably the age you'll be looking at for a big, strong leopard. Now he, as I mentioned, if I'm just trying to picture him if I had to go and pick him up, which I would never try and do, but let's say if I had to do that in order to try and weigh him, that's probably around the 60 mark, I'll say.
We found them. By scent, actually. Can always smell the dogs before I see them. Now, it wasn't easy. We've been round in circles. What happens is it gets too hot. So from the last position they were, they're really, really far east from where they were this morning. And that's because it's too hot. And looking around the sort of barren landscape of winter, there's really not much shade. They don't have much choice. But the puppies are looking rather alert already, I must say. The youngsters do not like to sleep. And we've got the sighting all to ourselves at the minute, which is fantastic. And do you want to know why? Because Tingana has been found on Cheetah Plains, which is really far south, southeast for Tingana. So I wonder if he really is nomadic now. It's been a sort of topic on our lips for many times. Is Tingana going nomadic? And it's really difficult for us to say because I don't see him anymore. We're no longer speaking, actually, but that's a different matter. Oh, they're watching a water buck. I don't think they're going to hug, but there's actually a water buck. Oh, many water bucks walking on the other side of the drainage. Look at the puppies. I think it's far too hot for them, but still, there's water buck. Oh. Puppies, I don't think you should be oh my goodness. They're about to chase the water buck. The water buck's running beaks. They're running. Oh my goodness, they really are alert. The adults are up too now. Everybody's up. I think it's time for us to reposition or we're going to lose them. So yes, it's hard for us to say if Tingana's nomadic or not because we don't see him. So I don't get the chance to say if he's scent marking, is he calling? I don't know anymore because I don't see it. But I think from his movements we can say that he's probably starting to go nomadic. Okay, they're on the other side of this drainage. And it seems like the puppies are hungry, so hopefully we can catch up with them.
It's beautiful, you know, the dog when they run around, sign of probably they want to hunt, catch something for these puppies. And, you know, we're still, you know, having a look at these giraffe. And I waited here slightly longer than I thought because with a lot of animals that trying to come and drink in there. What I seen was a kuri also trying to come in, yala came in, impalas came in. But, you know, the minute that hippos blow the nostrils, everyone threatened. Now nobody. It's probably, and then the reason I waited, I wanted to see because, you know, giraffe, they have a good sense of our sight, you know, they can see well things that, you know, you don't see. So I was hoping could be maybe a cat that's lying somewhere there that they don't want to drink because of that. But no, it's probably finally we discovered that it truly was that noise from the hippo. Look at the background, the sky. We will continue to look around for anything else. Leave these guys in peace.
Now, the puppies are watching the water buck. The water buck are watching the puppies. But they're not big enough or strong enough or skilled enough to take an animal that size. But they're interested, they're alert. 2 of the adults got up. It's still very hot in the afternoon. I just wonder what they're going to do next. Oh, up we go. We don't want to be left behind. Look at those ears. Okay, let's drive a little bit closer. It's not too far away, but let's just see where they're going. As you know, wild dogs are 1, difficult to find, and 2, difficult to keep track of. So they're either going to go flat again. See, there's all the water buck looking at them. You see them, they're not happy. They know the dogs are around. And dogs absolutely will take down water buck if they get it right. That would really fill all these hungry tummies. Okay, let's keep going forward to see if we can get a view of this pack. This pack's keeping everyone on their toes. This is about 3 or 4 days in a row that we've had them on drive, which is really, really good news. Here they are here. They're moving back into the drainage. Many of you are hoping for a wild dog hunt. I'm hoping that we also have that on our hands today. Yesterday we predicted that they would come to the dam and they just didn't come to the dam. It was rather disappointing. But if the puppies are already alert, and it is 4:30 in the afternoon, I think it won't be long before they get mobile. Really mobile and hungry. They're on the other side from the adults. They're sitting up this termite mound in front of us. Kyla, you're asking, can dogs run for long distances? And that's one of the wonderful things about the way they hunt. So they can run very, very fast. They're built for coursing. Long legs, slimline bodies. But the remarkable thing about them is their endurance. Their endurance is what allows them to hunt so successfully. They've got about an 80% success rate, and that's not just from the speed that they go at, but it is their endurance. It's remarkable. They've got all this energy to just keep going and keep going. They've got very specialized nasal passages, and they're extremely well developed, and this helps facilitate breathing for going really fast for long distances. Now, they don't go anywhere near as fast as cheetahs do, but they are remarkable and they can keep going, and that's the most wonderful thing, and it's what leads them to their success. They're said to reach speeds at about 50 to 60 kilometers per hour for several kilometers. They can maintain that speed. Lions can't do that, and leopards can't do that. So it's fast for long, and that's what's remarkable about them. I think we can go a little bit closer, BK, and get some better views. There's some puppies that are still watching the water park. Oh, this is a bit of a standoff. Okay, I'm going to do my very best this afternoon to keep up with these wild dogs.
Yeah, often following wild dogs is quite a bit of a mission, because as soon as they start running, it's so hard to keep up with them. But on the other hand, it's not as hard keeping up with this leopard lying down at the moment. As you can see, we're just monitoring him, trying to see where he would go with it cooling down. Now, I haven't even seen his ear twitching, and that's very that's something that you don't often see. You'll see them lying down like that, but now and again you'll see the tail moving, maybe the ear twitching, but he's not moved. And it might be that he is in such a deep sleep. Oh, just as I said it, maybe there was a fly around his ear. Just notice that little patch of sunlight on his ear at the moment. And you can also, notice, is that the whiskers, or is that the, I thought it was whiskers, but it looks like it's just grass. Oh, there you can see the whiskers through the grass. And he will be listening out. Even though it looks like he's fast asleep, he knows exactly what's going on around them. So if there's a hyena moving behind them and crunching on any leaf, he'll immediately wake up. But it's nice to know as well, with us being here as well, we're not affecting his behavior, because he's not constantly looking at us or moving away from us, and he doesn't see us as any threat at all.
Well, the leopards put a distance. Our elephants have remained not very far, and you remember I told you earlier, I was trying to locate that one calf that had an issue with her leg, and I'm almost 80% thinking I could have found her. I'm just remaining to confirm the other 20% if she is the one here. Because look at her front right leg and see the angle. It's bent. It's not very normal for elephants of this age to be walking like that. And if she's gonna limp slightly bit, then she'll be the one. Maybe now going to 85% to believe it's her. going to 90% and maybe 100%. I have located her. She must be the one. I've been out for the last 2 hours trying to find her. I've moved from one herd of elephants to another. And Bungay also says 100% she is the one. And to me, the last I saw her was yesterday morning. And thank you very much for your wishes for this calf. And you can tell she's looking much better. She wasn't feeding as she is doing today. And from where I saw her is about 3 kilometers, so which means from where she was treated from, she has walked a long distance. When elephants walk, sometimes they use their nails and their toes on the back legs. And thank you for, yeah, she is definitely the one now. I would say 110%. Look at her physically. She looks to be in very good shape. Continuously feeding, as is typical of elephants, which is a good sign. Not very sure if those egrets close to her understand her condition. I'm sure if they would send their, warm wishes for a quick recovery. I do not know what herd she comes from, because there's one cow there who is breastfeeding, and you can see this young calf here sucking. But elephants are very accommodating. But to see her with other elephants is pretty good news. Yesterday I was with her for about half an hour, and she was all alone. Then shortly after we started the drive, she disappeared some very dense thicket. I didn't want to follow her, I didn't want to disturb her. But I can tell she is looking a lot better than yesterday. This baby is trying to stay under the belly of the mother, of course, to shelter herself from the rains. It's my pleasure. I'm going to say Karibu Sana and very welcome, that you're happy we have been able to locate her, myself and Bungay. And that was my mission for this afternoon. It was very good to open the show with some elephants. And as I said, I feel I'm full of joy that what I wanted to see this afternoon has come to be. Bungay has been working very hard with me, but regardless of the rains, we have opened 2 small windows in our car, and Bungay has been looking on one side and myself on the other side. Bungay is the gentleman of the camera. And there she is. I mean, for me, from what the vets have reported to us, she looks on a very good recovery road. But you can tell that front right leg is a little swollen. The only thing one of the vet doctors told me, they're yet to find out exactly. So the vet doctor told me what the vet doctors will do normally, they'll always first dart the calf and then examine the wound or the fracture or if it's a sprain, and then give the necessary treatment. Now, what they're yet to find out is what caused the injury. They're not very sure 100% what could have happened, but as it heals and as they continue seeing it, because they told me they're seeing her 2 times in a day, and depending on her recovery rate, they're going to know whether maybe she fell in a hole. Could there have been a human interference? We don't think so, because where we are, nobody walks in the Mara. Elephants, clever animals. My guess, I would say, she could have maybe while playing with the other youngsters, she sprained her foot. Or she fell, slid in a hole in the tall grass, or there was a small little hole somewhere that she never saw, fractured that foot, and it could be anything. Waterbuck also feeding regardless of the rain. But my biggest joy is to see her feeding and much balanced than yesterday. Yesterday you could tell she was struggling to move using 3 legs instead of the normal 4. You can see she doesn't want to put any weight on that particular foot, which is good because it allows it to heal quickly. The biggest challenge of elephants is their weight. We could be in a location where maybe Janet, I'm thinking your question is, would the other elephants maybe accommodate her, or if she was still suckling, to be able to nurse from either of the cows? It's very possible. Elephants do what we call allo mothers, and a sister or a first cousin to the mother. If the mother is definitely not here, they'll always take her in comfortably. And if she is still maybe nursing, should be able to do the same from either of the aunties in the herd. I'm going to watch this particular calf. Maybe go slightly bit closer and see whether I could be able personally also to see the wound. But in the meantime, let's find out what Lauren has for us.
This adult's walking right towards the waterbuck. One dog, one buck. Okay, I'm gonna reverse. He's not properly hunting though. He can't do this without his pack. Sorry, it's through the vegetation. We just... Okay. Can we get views from here, BK? They're determined. They're determined for waterbuck. But one dog versus one waterbuck is not going to work. I think he's going to let this one go. He needs everybody else to be on board for this to be a success. Okay, I can see the other ones around here, BK. The puppies are in the drainage, but it's the adults that I want to keep my eye on. Okay. Now I've lost him. It's getting very tense here. Here's all the waterbuck. Okay, let's just go round. I think we can give you a much better view round here. The dogs are staring at the waterbuck are staring at the dogs. Yeah, right through here, BK, you see the dog in the distance? There's a buck and then there's the dog. They're watching one another. He's walking away. The waterbuck are staying very close together, which is a good idea. I don't see any young ones. We've got some young males. But what the dogs need to do is work together and cause panic. And by causing panic, they split this herd up, and then that's when they can sort of swoop in and take their pick. Let's just go a little bit forward and see. I don't want to lose sight of the dogs, but we're really not far away from the dam, so if we do lose them, I'm going to guess that's where they'll go. Oh, the waterbuck are nervous. They know they're there, though. Okay, Can you see any dog speaks? No, I think we have to maybe head on in to the thicket so that we don't lose the dogs. Yeah, I can see them on the other side. Okay, let's see if we can try and get round the water back here and find out what these dogs are up to. There's a drainage right in the middle here and they're down there, so it's not easy. It might take us a little bit to relocate them. What was that, sorry, Kirsten? Oh, many people are wondering why. It's better to stand your ground with any predator, even a human. You run. That's it. Predators are attracted to movement, even lions, leopards. So the minute you run, you become the food source. It's far better to stand your ground, especially when you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 large water bucks behind you. It's far better to stay together and stare down your prey. You can see the enemy coming. You can never be taken by surprise. That's much better, and that's exactly what impala do. They sort of shout and stand down the predator, and it means the element of surprise is ruined. Now, although wild dogs do not hunt the same as lions and leopards, they hunt by coursing, as I mentioned earlier, it's still a little off-putting for one dog to be challenged against 5 waterbuck. Okay, I'm going to pop my nose in here and see if I can find these dogs.
Nice to have you guys again with the lovely sighting with the cheetah with the 2 cubs. As you can see, we have just the mothers just lying right in an open small patch here, but there are some cubs around as well next to her, right behind her. The other one is far from these 2. But as you can see, there's another cubs. They're right. If you take a look right through these bushes, you'll be able to see, as you can see on the screen there now, that's here we go. There's another second cub, and yeah, it looks like they're all facing different direction. Just be careful for any movement, like a lion or leopard or hyena. So that's the main reason why they're all facing opposite direction. Look how beautiful that face of the cub. Wow, that's awesome. Look at the spots. You can see still a bit more fluffy hair on the, comparing the mom. Wow, look at this face, and then look at this marking on the face. But if you look at that grass, very, very camouflage, very good camouflage on this. If anything come around, and then we'll be able to see the other, like other impala or nyala, they won't be able to see quite quickly. Look at the mom, she's just sit up now, and because of it's quite windy here, they kind of alert, keep on checking around, making sure there's no danger that's coming. As you know, cheetah, there's at the bottom from the food chain, so they have to be careful wherever they are. Especially that mother, she has to look after these 2 cubs, and she has to make sure she doesn't put them in danger. Otherwise, that she knows that will be her fault if she just let them relax without worrying about anything. Apparently, that this morning she caught something, impala, something around this area. And if you look at the belly, you can see the belly is not very thin. But as you know, they're just worrying about, because could be a lot of these other bird prey like yellow-billed kite, batellias, also those birds, they can attract other predators in the area. But yeah, we'll sit here and see what's gonna end.
So we just want to have a look. This leopard has moved off. He might. What we're going to do is there's a little window above my shoulder here, Gert, and he is just moving at the back there. What we'll try to do, if we can't see him anymore, we'll try and see if we can move around and get another glimpse from the front. But he is moving towards an open area, so that'd be really nice if he carries on. See how he carefully moves to scan. Okay, now it's time to move again. Look at that white at the end of the tail. Often if it moves through the bush, that white end is quite a nice feature to use in order to spot a leopard. But look at him in the sun. All right, so he has moved. It looks like in that open area. So I think what we'll do is let us try and see if we can move around and get to where he is. But that's exciting. So I'll have to carefully maneuver my way out of here, just so that Gert and I can get into this riverbed and then go from there.
Beautiful. So we have left the dam and continue. It's where we relocate these buffaloes again. Looks like it's a huge herd here, and they just can't see how many of them, but it's a good number of herds. So it's all over. They're all over. But all we're seeing here now, it's a lot of a cow, a lot of a females. And their young one as well. As you can see, this one, look at this one's head. The horns pretty much like regular cows. But the bulls, they form bold right there. So it looks very thick, boss. And that would be the male. Those one right now, they're probably some of them leading this group right in front. And remember, when they move in this instance, they are so careful that they'll put the young one in the middle. The forage, the lead by the bunch of male that they'll secrete the whole group just for safety in case there's a predators around here, and we're able to face it before they go to this young one. So we'll probably gonna wait here for another moment to see, otherwise I'll leave them.
Buffaloes, just like elephants, if they were here with me in the Masai Mara of Kenya, I don't think they would have been very much bothered by the rains. Well, what's that one calf doing with the mother? Is it giving the mother a bit of back rub? Or is she scratching herself and not the mother? How elephants or animals you've seen out here using trees when they get itchy and they use them to scratch themselves. You can see the shiny coat on the skins of this, or hide of these elephants. The rains have subsided, and we have brought our flaps up, and we have opened our vehicle to have a 180 degrees view, whatever this calf is practicing to do. But then I thought, before we leave this calf that was injured, I'll show it to you one more time with a better, clear view, with no rains. But the Egyptian geese having a little fight in the background, and a yellow-billed hornbill not very far from her, feeding as usual on some arthropods. That is the calf, and to me she looks on a very good road to recovery very, very soon. And what I do, I knew where to get her, although it took me like almost 2 hours to locate her. And I want to spend a few moments with her. And I can tell you, tomorrow morning, either myself or Isaac, and more so me, will come and find out basically how she is doing, as much as we're still in touch with the vet doctors. Out here in the wilderness, so long as an animal is capable of eating, that is the biggest joy. But if you're injured, you're sick, you can't eat, then there's a concern. But look at her. Water everywhere. She doesn't have to go to the Mara River for a drink. And I think all of us are happy. She's looking pretty fine. Getting the soft, lush grass there that is full of moisture. So I just want to wish her a lovely evening, a lovely night, and hopefully I'll be able to locate her again tomorrow morning.
Thank you very much, Kirsty. The rain here in Demora has just subsided, and we're very lucky. We've come across a group of 3 sub-adult lions, most likely members of the River Pride. And at the moment, they're just like playing in the grass, rolling, licking, maybe trying to dry their skins. You know, it's been very wet, and you know, cats do not really love getting wet, but the licking in this case doesn't seem to do them any much of a favor. After all, they're still rolling in the wet grass, which apparently there's a herd of breeding buffaloes about some 400 meters, 500 meters further to the left, and they keep on popping their heads. Look at them, which will be very interesting to see, to spend some more time here, watch the buffaloes advance towards these sub-adult lions, and just see what their reactions is gonna be. So the 2 sub-adult males are probably about Oh, Julia, yeah, the lions are well hidden in the grass, and you see, they properly blend with the grass, as you can barely see them. And you see, this is one of the strategies that they use when they're stalking prey. You know, they use grass as cover, blend in very well, and slowly stalk at their prey. So the buffaloes are slowly advancing towards where the lions are. It's a big herd of buffaloes, probably 200 to 300 of them. But we're gonna be staying some more time here, watch the lions, and see what's gonna unfold in a short while.
How incredible is this? So this leopard walked all the way out of that dense area and decided to lie down on this little vantage point. So you'll notice around this particular, it's not a termite mound, it just looks like how the water's been washed down and it left this little island. And he's basically sitting on top there, using it as a vantage point to scan into the drainage line, but also to scan towards those open areas that we were talking about earlier. And look at how majestic he's lying down with his feet. It looks like it's over a dead branch. I agree with our viewers, the lighting is insane. Look at that. It's incredible, look at them. Just, especially when he turns his head. The one thing that I've noticed is there's a very prominent spot pattern on his left shoulder. that I'd love to point out. I can't see it at the moment. And it might be because of the grass, but as soon as he moves, I'd like to point out to everyone, it looks like this a big U, so the spots are fused, so it looks like the letter U on the side of his shoulder. Imagine if we can get him, so see that patch of sunlight around this neck, onto his cheek. Imagine if he turns and we can get his eyes in that sun. He is a beautiful leopard. What I do enjoy about him is look at how contrast the colors are around his face. It's the white patch on his chin, those long whiskers, even look at his eyelashes. And it's nice to be able to see it against the silhouette light. But there we can see that U spot pattern that I was telling you about. So see the grass. Notice right in the middle there's a grass blade that goes up, and then suddenly it goes at a 45-degree angle to the right. In the middle of that, there's that U spot pattern we were talking about.
Welcome back again. Yeah, look at that cheetah. She's just gone lying flat. And also the cubs lying right next to his mom. And doesn't look like anything worrying them at all. But as usual, cheetah does always keep on looking. But yeah, it looks like they must be realize that nothing here already, because it's been a whole day lying down here and just changing position because of the sun moving around. So yeah, they're very comfortable now. It was some stage where the wind was blowing very strong. Now they settled down a little bit. But yeah, you can see that how beautiful that face. And look at his feet of one of the cubs right in his mom's bum. But yeah, she just realized that my baby is lying next to me. It's awesome to see that these animals, they can just be calm, like, without worrying about anything. But suddenly, they can change behavior quite quickly. Oh, look at that cub, just almost lying on his back. Yeah, take a look at his foot up back there now. Look, he's stretching one leg. Keep on checking. But you can see their bellies are full. That's why they are so lazy. So it's very nice. Wow, this is one of the beautiful sightings that you get here every now and again in Pinda. And that's everywhere they are. It's a beautiful place because it's more open, but nice, good cover as well. So, yeah, we'll see what's going to happen. We'll just wait, because you never know what's going to happen.
Now, if you've ever wondered if wild dogs eat helmeted guinea fowl, the answer is no. We just watched about 12 guinea fowl walk right past the dogs, then realised the dogs were there and have a massive reaction, as they always do. And the dog just looked absolutely bamboozled, completely confused as to why 12 guinea fowl are walking up to it and creating such a scene. So if you've ever wondered, that's the answer to that question. Now, the waterbuck are about 30 meters away from the dogs. The dogs have gone flat. It's still quite hot. Although the sun is vaguely starting to provide some relief, it's still very hot. So we're trying to keep our eyes on them through the thicket because, oh, here we go. Here we go. Wild badger, you're asking, would or could wild dogs kill other predators? Highly unlikely. They're known to clash with hyenas all the time, but they never kill the hyena. It's a sort of battle that's constantly gone on between wild dogs and hyenas. They're all on the move, BK. I think we're going to move. They would kill other predators' cubs, like leopards and lions. Absolutely. They would if they could, if they came across them. But we've seen lions kill dogs, I'm afraid. But I really don't think the dogs themselves would go for a predator. They would chase them. They would chase a leopard. But as for kill it, I think it's quite unlikely. There was a hyena sleeping. I didn't get an ID not too far away from here. And again, the hyena's following the dogs. Playtime. The sounds are just incredible. I just wonder which direction they're going to go in. Are they going to go to the dam? Are they going to go further south? I don't know. Yep, they're crossing. They're heading to the dam. Are you ready, BK? They're all running. We're not that close. We're going to have to Ferrari safari round. This waterbuck, I think you're safe. And you too. Okay, I hope I'm predicting this right and we see them all having a lovely drink at the dam.
So have a look. We just repositioned a bit forward to try and work a bit with the sunlight that we do have. And notice on the silhouette shot that we have of this beautiful male. Isn't that like the perfect picture to be in one's living room? And how relaxed is he? Look at the size of his paws, just the way that he's lying down. You can even see the trees in the back, some of them that have a bit of a shiny appearance. As the wind is blowing through the trees in the back, you can notice the grass moving and a couple of flies now and again around his ears. To me, that's like the perfect leopard picture. And just imagine how big he would be if we had to, let's say in a year from now, maybe 2 years from now. If you look at that head, how much bigger would it be in comparison to now? If you look at the mouth, the nose, would that nose maybe start turning into a different color than the pink we can see? And how big would those paws be that are hanging over that branch?
Everybody's on the dam wall. Oh, the puppies. Okay, let's do our count, everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there are 11. I think I got that right. Oh my goodness. Isn't this so lovely? They're all looking down at the water, deciding what to do. The puppies are a bit nervous, shows you how young they still are. Once they move off a little bit, I'll get closer, but not right now. Okay, PK, I'm just going to move a little bit. Just off to the side here. Okay, we're just going to try and reposition and follow this pack across the dam wall.
Thank you very much, and welcome back to the Mara Triangle. And right here, we got a very interesting or rather fabulous sighting where we've got 3 of the big 5 almost together. We got the lions to the right, completely concealing the grass, and a family of elephants walking almost toward where the lions are. I'm not sure whether the elephants are aware. Oh, yeah, there's one really very close to the lions. So obviously the lions are looking at the elephants. Oh, she's seen the lions, I guess. And it's very interesting that the lions are completely relaxed. They're not being bothered by this family of elephants walking close to them. And a bit more to the left, we still have that breeding herd of buffaloes slowly coming closer to the lions. And obviously, I guess they're not aware of these lions yet, which sure the elephants probably have smelled the lions, although there's no panic at the moment. And it's like they're pretty happy staying close to each other, which is quite unusual. I will expect that the lions will be rather a bit scared or uncomfortable with the elephants walking that close to them. But so far, they're still relaxed, just looking at the elephants slowly grazing and walking past them. Oh, I see one of the youngsters. Oh, now you can see the lions are slowly giving way, and one of the female elephants already seen the lions and is kind of spreading out her ears to warn them or to show them that she's not possibly happy with the lion staying that close. And you know, the lion seems to kind of giving up and just want to give the elephants the right of way. Right, so the elephants have shown up, and I think they kind of the elephants and the lions are not good friends always, you know. Although they're too big for the elephants are too big for the lions to look as possible prey, but sometimes with youngsters they can try to bring them down. But in this case, they're about almost teenagers in the family, so I don't think it's going to be a big worry for this family of elephants.
This is amazing, honestly. They've just had a big standoff with the hippos. The puppies are very interested in the hippos, not to eat, but just very interested, and the hippos are not happy. The puppies are so curious. They've calmed down, but oh, there was lots of yawning.
Well, I just saw a hunt here very quickly of this heron, and she just hunted, I think it's a mouse or a rat. And now what she's doing now is making sure it's dead. She's just killing it using her beak. And it's so big. Look at the size of that. You'll be surprised. I could be wrong, but you'll be surprised how she is going to swallow it. Just watch. They always wait very patiently, the herons, before they strike when they're hunting. And then they just shoot their beaks and necks just like spear. The first hit is just to traumatize the prey. And then very quickly they pick it up. And what she's doing is to make sure it's dead. This is what she's doing. Now she's holding the head. If you look carefully, you can see the tail down. Let's see if we can zoom a little bit further. Oh, that's the best we can get. Swallowed. Gone. That is a true wow. So it took less than 3 seconds to swallow that big prey of either a rat or a mouse. Look at the size of that neck. And imagine the size of a mouse or a rat. I believe the neck muscles dilate, they expand, and either a reflex to allow the prey to go down, because the diameter of that neck to me looks pretty small. Takes the whole thing with the hide and the fur, and I think that was a snack. That was very special to see that hunt. I'll move on, maybe find something else.
Oh, but they're drinking. The guinea fowl are still being brave. This is different ones. The dogs are going down to drink. Let me just go a little bit forward, BK. Now, we might have to leave them soon. Lots of vehicles now want to see the dogs because they're mobile. I'm just going to turn around. Is that okay? They're a bit nervous. All the predators are always nervous coming to drink. The prey are as well. Oh. When you're thirsty, but you just can't quite do it. They know there's crocs in there. The guinea fowl are running towards this dog, look. Oh, it's mayhem. Run, 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 run. We've just realised they're dogs. The dogs aren't even looking twice at the guinea fowl. Isn't this just so wonderful? They're all so nervous. Adults are hungry. Adults are not wanting to drink. Seven adults, one collared. I don't think any of them have actually had a drink of water yet. So see this adult just there to the right? That's the babysitter. The other 6 are wandering off, getting ready to hunt, and this adult's the one that's in charge.
With the medallion. Moment 2.
Okay, I'm just going to move because there's a vehicle behind us. I want to let them see. Okay, Beaks?
Notice how tired he is now. He's still trying to keep his head out, or head up, just trying to listen out to hear if Mama's around. But how, like, to me, what's really been such a special sighting is just how the colors contrast, his colors, in comparison to the darker background. And it's so nice because he stands out where a leopard normally hides away, and it's really hard to see them. In this case, it's such a lovely view of him. But unlike lions that you would have seen earlier on, lions are more social animals. You often find more lions together in comparison to leopard. Leopard prefer being by themselves, especially when they get older and if they are males, like this one here. Now he doesn't mind. But in the meantime, let's quickly head across to Lauren.
They've surrounded the waterbuck. Sorry about the view. It's behind the vehicle, but we can't move. We've got dogs all around the car. We can't afford to move the vehicle. And they've got these buck cornered. A mother and calf by the looks of it. Oh, okay. Looks like they're giving up. Your waterbuck might be safe for today. Shame. They're definitely about to hunt. I just don't know exactly what they're going to go for. There's something there, BK, at about 11 o'clock, I think. Is that another waterbuck? Yes, look at the bum circle. That could be their next target. Yep, I think it is. All adults are zooming in. I think the waterbuck behind us are actually safe. Here they come. Oh, there's another one. I didn't see that one. This is very, very far off in the distance. My goodness. Okay, we've still got dogs in front of the car. I don't want to move. They're all very excited. Oh, here they come, here they come. Oh my goodness. Okay, the waterbuck are all behind our car, which makes it slightly awkward. Got 3 adult females and 2 youngster waterbucks behind the car. I wonder if they're utilising the car. They're getting ready to jump in the water. That's exactly what they're doing. The dogs don't want to give up, but it's tricky. Okay, BK, you might have to swing. We've got a dog about 2 meters away from the waterbuck here. Oh, another one. Yeah, you focus on that one. I'm looking behind the car. He's going for the one behind the car, BK. Okay, he's left. Everyone's on the edge of the seat. Me too. No, they're running. BK, over here. They're going for this one. There's waterbucks everywhere. This one. Oh my goodness. This is so tense, everyone. They're going to hunt. I just don't know which one. Yes, BK, we're going to show you behind the car and what's going on. You will see the back of the car. There's another vehicle too. He's going, BK, he's going for it. This is how close, look. I'm sorry for our antenna. It's the main reason we can broadcast out here, but it's not very sightly. Wow. There's just dogs everywhere, puppies everywhere. I don't really know where to look, to be honest with you. The dog behind us is giving up. It's so unbelievable. This dog that you're looking at, he needs help. He or she, I can't think it's a he needs help. Can't do this alone. The rest of the pack needs to come. A waterbuck's a big takedown. It's possible they can do it and they're known to do it, but it's a big takedown. Okay, they're also leaving that one. They're going on the move. They're going to keep trying. All the waterbuck here know that they're here. There's just a vehicle coming up behind us. Hi. Hi. Okay, Kirst, I may need to get on the radio. It's becoming a very busy sighting and I need to reposition. You're all seeing these dogs are hungry. Oh, yes, very hungry. Lots of mouse. So I'm going to get on the radio and hopefully we can remain in this sighting.
Look at how he turned around and he's resting his chin on that stump. Let's see, like you probably heard something moving in the back. That hyena's still around in the area. But have a look now. He is getting restless though. And let's just see, look at him. There he goes. Imagine how tired he must be, and he's just trying to make himself comfy. But I think that stump must be so hard on that chin of his. What I do enjoy is how he called himself up into a ball. And believe me, so we now focused on him quite close. But if we move further away, look at how difficult it is to spot this leopard where he's lying down. And I can just imagine sometimes just driving past how easily we can miss it, especially with the light the light going down the way that it is now. Henry, it all depends. So with this male, he's been sleeping for little bits at a time. So anywhere from 2 minutes, maybe 10, and then he wakes up again. But if you had to probably add all of it together, he'll probably average close to, this particular male, close to 15, 16 hours a day. Could be less. I mean, it's not going to be like a lion that will sleep up to 20 hours a day, but depending if it had a meal, depending if there's water around and it doesn't have to move too far, I mean, this leopard has nowhere to go, so he could basically sleep the whole day if he wanted to, because remember, he's not a dominant male that needs to go and mark his whole territory and move the whole area to chase any other males around. He just needs to worry about food. So if there's a carcass around and there's some water, there's no need for him to go anywhere, so he can basically sleep the whole day then. But if there's no food or water, he might have to move quite a bit, so then he'll have less sleep. But whenever he can, especially in the heat of the day, that's when he'll sleep for quite a few hours. And it won't be solid sleep, it will be broken up quite a few times. But I definitely want to, myself and Gerard, just spend here more time and see if he is eventually going to move or settle down here for the night.
We are still here with the cheetah with the two cubs. As you can see, they're just lying nicely. As you can see, they're just changing, moving slightly, but they're just positioning themselves, getting more comfortable. Look at that other cub, just putting his face right on the floor. Doesn't know what's going on around. Must be fast sleep. Even the mom, but it's good thing the head's still up. And yeah, look like they're very comfortable, as you can see the way they're lying. Oh, mom's just checking around, but because of that wind, nothing really around. And we look at that place, there's more dry grass around this area. Yeah, it is very dry at the moment, but this is a very good camouflage for them. As you can see, how much this grass is not as tall, but that small patch, it gets them very comfortable. As you can see, lying down, looking. Look at the ear twitching a little bit, listening. Oops, she's up. Something moved. Yeah, there's some wallabies moving around there. But yeah, difficult for you guys to see. That's why she just stood up and look around. Because any movement is a threat to them. Look at even the cubs also lifting their head. What, Mom? Mom said, oh, it's okay. Yeah, you see how quickly they can pick it up. That is about 100 meters away from them, but they still pick it up when they're lying flat. Which is good to see that reaction like that, which means she's not actually sleeping in a place like that. She's making sure, even she lie down, but the ears are up and listening. Hope she could stretch. Look at that. Well, she just want to make sure why this wallaby is running away. Because she knows that could be anything disturbing them. But the good thing is there's no alarm calling with this wallaby. It's just run. And as you can see, she's just listening, checking around, making sure no one coming. Look how beautiful their spots. The other cubs just lying. The other cubs just lying flat. They've got no idea what's happening around. Well, as you can see, the mom's just checking around. We'll just see and wait and see what's happening.
The dogs are hunting. We've got the adults now as 2 sightings. We had to leave the pups. I don't actually know which way to go. They've split. Some are there. There's impala over here. Let's try this way. The puppies are chasing the guinea fowl. After my big speech about the dogs not taking guinea fowl, the puppies are chasing them. But we had to leave that, I'm afraid. I think they've gone after the impala here. The impalas are stotting. They're being chased by dogs. Here we go. Wow. Impalas only do that when there's dogs behind them. In front, beaks here. Running. They're going. You see the speed? Okay, this is remarkable. Okay, I'm just going to go forward a little bit. Impala's a lot easier, much easier than waterbuck. Okay, I can't see them anymore. Can you, BK? Yeah, I can now. Bear with me, everyone. Let me get into a position away from this vehicle. They're running around right in front of us. Okay, I'm just going to let this other vehicle lead the way. And then we're going to... here. No. Sorry, I'm imagining things. This is what I would call chaos. In a good way. You ready? We've got permission to go. Hold on, BK, don't want to lose you. It's waterbuck again, they're back to the waterbuck. You see all the waterbuck grouped together here. Let me just stop and find out where the dogs are. Most likely in the direction that they're looking. A waterbuck would be the perfect meal for everybody. It's a lot of mouths to feed. 7 plus 11. Just to the left, BK. There. It's got something. Okay, let's go closer. I don't know what this dog has. Have they taken one already? Possibly. But then where's everyone else? Wow! One dog got an impala, one dog. Everyone else is nowhere to be seen. I can't believe this. Oh my goodness, and the waterbuck are watching. Oh. Where's the other dogs? They share food. It's not hyena style here. But I just don't know where everyone else has disappeared to. So that's dotting with the impala that we saw. One of them got it. Wow. I imagine all the others are just going to come streaming in soon, unless they also got lucky. I think BK and I are a little bit blinded from the sun. I didn't even see that. If you are a little bit squeamish, probably this is not the scene for you, I'm afraid. I can't believe that. Yeah, Kirsch just reminded me of a sad fact that if it is an impala, I think it is. Yes, it definitely is. If it's a female, it could also be pregnant. It's very sad to see these things happen. But impala act as a buffer. That's why they are so numerous, and that's why so many of the predators do hunt them. I keep looking behind me and I cannot see another dog. See the waterbuck behind, just watching. Wow, what an afternoon. The Pungwe pack are just delivering and delivering every single single day. The water buck are running along the dam wall on the other side. I wonder... Yes, there's a dog chasing on a dam wall, BK. It's really, really far, but it's chasing the water buck. I don't know if we'll make it. Oh, sorry. No, to the left, to the left. Dog just chased every single one of those water buck along the dam wall. So what this means, I apologise for giving BK such a hard time, but what it means is that the dogs have scattered everywhere. They're all hunting individually. This is why hyenas lurk behind them. Look at the carcass just left, completely unattended. Open. Fresh. That's exactly why hyenas follow them. This dog cannot be leaving this behind. Surely not. BK, Tawny, eagles, vultures swooping in already. Can you believe this? The vultures are on it within seconds. Another one, another vulture coming in. I cannot believe this dog has just left his carcass. There is absolutely no way. Wow. I think the dogs are hunting on the other side. Thank you. Wow. Many of you are seeing that. Kirsten's saying it, I's saying it, BK's saying it. I don't have a clue what's going on the other side, but I know they're hunting there as well, and that other dog is going to join. Rather than be out here alone, don't leave yourself in a vulnerable position alone where hyenas can come. Go to the rest of the pack. I'm just going to edge forward a little bit and maybe we can get a view of what's happening, BK. We can get closer to the vultures as well. Okay, I'm just going to look through my blind. Oh my goodness, 3 white-backed vultures tearing apart this impala. The puppies are still chasing the guinea fowl. Poor guinea fowl. Wow. The vultures also know they've not got a lot of time. Anything could come right now. Hyenas, multiple hyenas, that's dangerous. Leopard. This wild dog just used all its energy to take down this impala and left it. It's not very pleasant to watch, is it? Wow. Oh, BK, look to the right. The puppies. They're coming. They've all been told to come to the carcass. The adult's bringing them. Wow. BK, that was some incredible camera work. The adults brought back the puppies. They're all coming, they're all streaming in, every single pup. Yeah, I think that puppy, yes, that's a fetus, everyone. That puppy just took the fetus. It was a pregnant impala. Everybody's coming. Impala might not feed everyone, some medium-sized antelope. They might have to do another hunt before that sun goes down. They live for the pack. Pack is life. And that just showed you. The adult made the kill and went back to get everybody. Come with me. And everybody followed. The puppies are getting fed. Not quite ready to hunt yet, but ready to feast. Oh, the blacksmith lapwing just wanted a little feature in the madness. You're all saying the sounds are amazing. That's exactly why I'm staying silent. Just enjoy the sounds. Have you noticed how there's such little aggression? It's not like hyenas. There really is very little aggression in a pack of wild dogs. Very little. That adult made the kill, had a little bit to eat, and then gave it all to the pups. That's really something. That's why they say wild dogs are almost, chasing away the vultures, almost altruistic. You're all saying how it was so nice that they just let the puppies eat. It's amazing. The adults are waiting, but they'll hunt again. If it's not enough, they will hunt again until everybody's fed. Until everybody's completely full and satisfied, they can hunt again. Now I'm make sure that no one else is wanting to come into this site then. The vultures are, but I mean vehicle-wise. Look how patient the adults are. The puppies are devouring it. Okay, we may have to leave, but if we don't, we're going to sit here and watch this story unfold.
Beautiful buffalo coming down to Ndlovu Dam. Shh, back. Oh no. Why did I do that? Beautiful buffalo coming down to Ndlovu Dam.
All right, so we're back. We have left our buffaloes peacefully. Now we're back on. We're checking a couple of water hole. I know was an update about the leopard track from this morning, but there's no sign of that leopard, so I'm not sure which one was. It looks like it was also a track of a male. Could be that Mlowati male. I'm not sure. But, this is how we're going to find out. I'm trying to spend a lot of time with a group of impala to see if there is any reaction of maybe there's something hunting on them, but they're all just quietly. So, but I won't stop doing that. So I'm busy checking around here to see if there's any tracks coming out, or it's a time actually they might actually come out to drink if they're around. So this is the best time for the cats. Just like the dog, they actually get up mobile and hunt. It's the same thing. Temperatures died quietly, and for them to be able to move smoothly, do what they do, territorial scenting and things like that. So I heard of it that Tingana was seen far east, out of reach for us. But that track of that male we saw it this morning, somebody saw it. Could be another male around here. So maybe that's why Tingana have moved far east to the end of Sabicent, which is somewhere, I think, between Koro and Chile Plains area. And that's what the update was coming from this guy. So is more of impala here. So let's see if, but looks like they're just kind of pushing one another. They normally do that when the males are, group up together. This is what they do. And they practicing their air energy. Stay here listening of what's happening since they're still tussling each other.
Now we're just going to spend a few more minutes admiring the puppies and then we are going to leave. We've been so lucky to have this sighting all afternoon. It's been exhausting. I'm just going to let you enjoy this for a few minutes and then we will pull out of the sighting.
Bouncing like up there, not that way. So I can use a lower ISO for a better quality. Your ISO is a more noisy.
Look at their full little tummies. They're still very small. I know they maybe look big right now, but really they're still small, especially when you compare them to the adults. And if I correctly count 11, there's only been a loss of 2. Those fluffy white tails, aren't they gorgeous? I love the tricolour. I love tan, black and white. It's my favourite colour scheme on dogs, domestic and wild. Wild dogs are not really dogs. They're not domesticated dogs, they're not wolves, they're descendants of wolves, but they are their own species, in their own genus.
Lovu Dam, Pride Lands, absolutely glorious on this spring evening. Where?
Just to the rock. There's an electric cat stalking the buffalo.
No way. Don't know. I heard the Franklin earlier as well.
Alright, so we close now. We just arrived in this waterhole. Just gonna scan around here. Look, oh, there's a hyena. There's a hyena back there. Just gonna look at that hyena there, see what that hyena does for us. But looks like it's just resting in there. And I'm not sure. We're probably gonna get close enough more than this, but from the distance just to have a look what that hyena could be seen. Anything around here moving close to this water hole, because these hyenas always behind something. Looks like theories say that's probably eating. So I'm gonna drive close by to have a look what it might be eating in there. So I think we're just gonna be static here, but I'm not sure what is that in front of that hyena there. I don't want to get that hyena move away from us. Licking on probably bone or something. Looks like it. Yeah, true. I also agree. Looks like a leg of an antelope. From this far, whatever died around here, could be that maybe killed by a big cat or also a hyena. They're a very good hunter as well, especially when in a group, and they can do very well surround a game, especially go for if they ever surround waterbuck, zebras in this group, and they do such a damage because they have powerful jaws, and that can really look at these teeth. Isn't that good? Eat and rest. Keep some meal for the next turn when you're hungry again. And not a lot of them around here, not that I can see right now. So it looks like it's only one individual hyena. We're probably trying to listen if there's any other sound come from anywhere around, so that we know for sure that bone could be maybe something dying not far away from here. I would take that moment just listening around. Looks just nothing for me, nothing that I can hear, but also the way that a hyena just take it easy. Looks like everything just comfortable for that single hyena to be on their own. And as you can see, she was busy licking on that bone, and again, leave the bone alone, just take it easy. But if there were a group of them here, look at me now. I can hear you. Look at his ears. So could be maybe it's should be part of that clan that they're denning around here. It's up. Oh, it's a whole bone. Look at this. Can't tell what animal was it, but looks not really fresh to me. Kind of like a dry Jackie or biltong, that this dry bone. I'll wait here, see what this hyena doing from time being.
I can't. They're about to come. Right, we're so fortunate. We're doing the same thing we did the other night, waiting for buffaloes to come down to the dam. All the buffaloes have come down, and we got a view of Pixie Pan female's cub. The leopard cub is also here at the dam. It's just chased all the buffaloes and sitting on the dam also. We can't see it now, but it just...
This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good morning, everyone. We are welcoming you from my absolutely favourite place in the entire game reserve, and that is the Djuma Clan Den. And today it happens to be extremely active. Everybody is here, so it's a great start to your live safari today through the African bush.